announcement from us. It's been strengthened the last couple of years in the Queensland and Northern Territory branch. We're fortunate and unfortunate, obviously, to cover the area that's going to be earmarked for this dump. Our members have been consulted. We've had meetings all over the place about it. People aren't happy with the nuclear industry and where it's going. I think we've been pretty well vindicated of late with Fukushima, that our fears are for workers' safety and for the safety of the community have been vindicated. We're going to go up there in August 15, leading a delegation of unions up to Muckaty. We're going to go and talk to the traditional owners, talk to Di and her clan up there and talk to the people about what's going on up there. We've been up and spoke to the Northern Territory government. They're not on side with it. They don't like the idea any more than what you or I do, although they're pro-uranium, which I find quite funny. Martin Ferguson, one of our guys bumped into Martin Ferguson in Cairns last week, yelled out a heap of abuse at him, as we've been known to do. And Martin came over with a smile on his face and said, "Who are you from?" And he said, "Oh, the ETU in Queensland." He said, "I'll give you ETU guys one thing." He said, "You've been consistent for a long period of time opposing the nuclear industry." He said, "But I'll tell you one thing now." He said, "You'll keep opposing it and I'll keep screwing you over." That was his response. It wasn't exactly the language he used. It was a bit stronger than that, but I'll leave it at screwed. Martin Ferguson has got a real big role to play and has played a very big role in this nightmare that we now see. If it's so good and so safe, Martin should be putting it in the electorate of Batman rather than taking it up to the Muckaty-Station area and trying to bury this stuff. I was fortunate enough, and again unfortunate enough, to go to Sellafield a couple of years ago in the UK, have a look at the reprocessing plant over there where they used to have a nuclear station, which was the second worst and actually the third worst nuclear incident in the world over there that no one knows too much about. They had a nuclear meltdown there in one of the reactor cores. Didn't know what to do with it. They poured a heap of water on it, which basically poisoned the landscape there for many hundreds of years. It'll be there for another couple of thousand years. Muckaty-Station is going to start out as a small 400-year temporary dump. Now, 400 years in my mind isn't too temporary for a start. And if we all believe that it's only going to be about Australian waste and Australian medical waste and Lucas Heights, we're kidding ourselves. Bob Hawke and others have been travelling all over the countryside in the last 10 years, exposing the virtues of what beautiful landscape we've got out in the middle of nowhere, out in Muckaty-Station, out in the Territory. We're a perfect place to bury nuclear waste. They forget to tell you about earthquakes and groundwater and the Great Artesian Basin and whatever else. They just want to go out and bury the stuff and start importing the stuff to bury in our country. So this is the start of a much bigger plan. And we owe it to future generations not to let this bloody happen. So they can pass the legislation today at 12:30, and we'll get through. There'll be a bit of debate, and the Greens will stand their ground as I'll take my head off to them. There's a few within Labor's ranks that aren't too happy about it either. But at the end of the day, it'll get passed. But I'll say to you, comrades, at the end of the day, they've got to build the bloody thing. They'll need boiler makers, and they'll need building workers, and they'll need electricians. And we'll be out there with the traditional owners and with you people, hopefully, at the front gates of the Muckaty-Station, trying to stop them from doing that. And I think it's incumbent on all of us to go out and spread this message. When you talk to people in the street about Muckaty-Station, not too many of them know about it. I'd hope to crisis some press coverage on it today, because it's a very, what's the word, not very publicised as far as the general public go. And we need to get out there and sell that message. When you go to barbecues and stuff, talk to your friends and tell them what's going on. When you do, and I've done a lot of that in the last 6 months, people are horrified that we're even thinking about doing it. One justification I did get, though, well, if we export uranium, we're beholden to bring the waste back, and that's under United Nations conventions, and that's 100% right. I've got a fix for that. Don't dig the shit up and don't export it. That fixes that problem right there and then. So from the Electrical Trades Union point of view, we'll be up at Muckaty. We'll take this message broad in our community in Queensland and the Northern Territory, and nationally, hopefully. At the end of the day, we've got some very strong policies nationally against this stuff as well. So I'd like to tell you to keep in the fight. The only way you're going to stop this is people power. You can't rely on the politicians to fix it for you. More of this, more people involved, more rallies, and a picket line up there when it gets built. Thank you very much for your time.